In today's video, we are back once again on Anime Strike Simulator, where today I'm going to be telling you the best tips and tricks in order to go noob to pro inside of this game. Since a lot of you recently, both pay to win and free to play players, have been asking me, SMG, what do I need to do in order to get on the leaderboards or to get maxed out in this game? But don't worry, by the end of this video, you should have that question answered. But just before we jump into this, just want to quickly say, if you do end up enjoying it and want to see more, then feel free to hit that like and subscribe button with notifications on. And yeah, apart from that, we have a lot of tips and tricks that we need to get started on, so let's jump right into this. Now you might be asking, SMG, what on earth do you mean by codes? Do you just mean this little system right over here? And yes, in fact, you would actually be right. I have a feeling that a lot of you guys are not using this to your advantage, even though it is absolutely broken. And in case if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you exactly why. Okay, so let's say you just started off the game on a brand new account, or maybe you're in like one of the first few worlds, like maybe the Earthing planet, or maybe, I don't know, the Psycho City. Then this tip is going to be super beneficial for you, since if you quickly go ahead, open up the code system and use all of the codes found in the description, then you are going to be getting so much items. For example, as you can see, this is my inventory right now before using the codes, and then this is what it looks like after using the codes. That's insane. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you have more than enough items in order to go to, for example, you can head on over here to the chakra raid, and you can upgrade your chakra bunch. For example, just look at this. This is a brand new account starting off on chakra 1, and as you can see, I am upgrading my chakra so many times, and even after doing so many times, I've barely even dented my chakra amount. Yeah, we managed to get to chakra 19. Not too bad at all. And not only that, you also will have a bunch of tokens in order to roll, for example, the Keke Genkai over here, and maybe get like epic or better, or maybe you can just use the magic crystals, teleport on over to the second world. So then that's where you can upgrade your grimoires, or maybe something else from the other worlds. And the best part is that even if, let's say, you're late game, let's say Z City or something like that, the codes are still going to be very beneficial for you, since as you can see, you can get some pretty hard to get items. For example, the Starlight Crystals. If I'm not mistaken, this is the exact amount that you need to make your very first unique Z-City pet. Yeah, highly recommend. Make sure you use the codes as soon as possible, because in my opinion, it's practically cheating, I gotta be honest. But anyways, that's enough of talking about all of that. Let's move on to the second tip. Alright, so let's say you just went ahead, used all the codes in the first tip, and now you're wondering, alright, what's the next step that I need to do? And well, the answer to that question is you want to go ahead and speedrun all the way up to the snowy forest. And the reason for that is because in this world, there is a bunch of stuff which is going to be helping you out a ton in progression. And those are mostly going to be the Slayer level, the Demon Art, and the Breaths. Now, these systems are relatively simple. For example, over here at the Breaths, you can go ahead and in exchange for released souls, upgrade your energy multiplier, which of course will help you out a ton in progression. And of course, the same thing goes for the Demon Art and as well the Slayer level, which if we go ahead and just quickly scroll down through, they give some pretty insane multipliers. 16x power, 15x damage, you kind of get the point. Now there is one huge problem when it comes to upgrading these, and that is going to be the kills. Since yes, I do know how annoying it can be in order to grind out the kills, especially if you don't have, for example, the serial killer passive, or whether you have a good drops multiplier for the released souls. But don't worry, I have a pretty easy solution for this. Now don't worry whether you have a Sentinel or not, since it isn't going to matter anyways. I'm going to be showcasing methods for non-Sentinel users and as well Sentinel users. For example, for the non-Sentinel method, all you want to do is you want to go ahead and step in between these two enemies, just like so. Since as you can see, as I'm AFKing over here, I am managing to take out each of them at the same time. Hence why this is going to be one of the best methods for people who don't have Sentinels, since you literally don't need one. But not only that, this location is going to be found in the first world, which means that everyone can access it. Pretty cool. Now, of course, this isn't the best method in order to get kills, rather it is the best AFK method. since as you can see, if I go ahead and quickly run around, in the time that it takes for an enemy to respawn, I can in fact get like 2 or 3 kills more than what I get when I'm AFKing, which in other words means that I'm getting around double the kills, which is a pretty insane jump. It's just that the only downside to this is that you do need to be active, you know, running around. Now, yes, I know there is quite an easy solution to this. All you need to do is just, you know, get, for example, a tiny task over here and just, you know, go ahead and set up a tiny task. However, in my opinion, it isn't really that worth it, since think about it. If you really do want kills, why not just set up a macro for example, grinding the ninja raid, or I don't know, maybe the cursed raid. So then that way, not only are you grinding out kills, but as well, you are grinding out materials as well. In fact, if you're interested on how to set up a macro, I will have a video of mine linked in the description where I do a step-by-step guide in order how to set up a macro. So yeah, if that is something that interests you, then you know where to find it. But apart from that, I think I've said practically everything that I have to say on the non-Sentinel method. So let's move on to the Sentinel method. Now, this method is going to be just as simple, since as you can see, it is going to be found in the first world. The only difference is that it is going to be highly dependent on your range. For example, if you have a low range, then probably the best place that you want to AFK is going to be in between these 3 Sakuras. So then that's where, you know, you can AFK over here and get 3 kills per second instead of 2. But not only that, if you have a really OP range like me, for example, as you can see, it's around like 40 or 50, you can actually upgrade the kill amount even more by AFKing on this Sakura, which as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies within my range. Then all you have to do once you've set yourself up is just put on the Sentinel attack, and then just look at this. I'm taking out all the enemies immediately. They're respawning after like a second, and thanks to all of that, my kills are starting to go up. Now, another thing that I do want to mention is that if you can, if possible, do make sure to get the serial killer passive, because it is absolutely broken. And what I mean by that is, if you have a look at the description, not only is this really OP for getting your avatar level up, but it also multiplies your kill stats by 5. So yeah, remember that OP method for getting 5 kills per second? Now it's become 25 kills per second. But anyways, that's enough of the second tip. Let's move on to the third tip. Okay, so what exactly do I mean by secret gachas? Well, for example, over here in the Peace Marine, you know how there's like this Peace Fruits machine where, you know, you can roll and get some fruits and then those fruits will give you multipliers? Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The secret variant of those. However, this isn't as simple as that. I'm not telling you to just get the secret variants. I'm going to tell you what's the best method in order to get them. For example, you remember how before I mentioned how, you know, the best way to get kills so then you can upgrade your Slayer level? Well, in fact, it isn't actually only for getting damage and energy multipliers. It's actually for something else which can be found, where is it? Right over here. The Insta Spin. Pretty much how that works is, you do know how there's like a really long animation in order to roll? Well, yeah, Insta Spin basically takes that away completely and it allows you to, as the name is, Insta Spin. And this is super important because it saves a bunch of time. Like, no joke, if let's say you have, I don't know, 10k of the fruit bags and, you know, you have really bad luck, then without Insta Spin, it's going to take you like many hours of rolling. Hence why I highly recommend you get Insta Spin as soon as possible. If I'm not mistaken, the Slayer level to get it is around Slayer level 16, which if I'm not mistaken, in order to reach that level, you need to be like Titan City, maybe somewhere before. Something like that at least, so it would definitely be something worth grinding on the side. However, one thing that I do want to mention that is super important: don't go for secrets until you have vaults. The reason being is because apart from the power variants, there are sometimes damage variants and stars variants, and those are super important for getting their respective setups. In fact, let me show you exactly what I mean. For example, if I head on over here to this dummy, as you can see right now I am doing 1.04 TD damage per hit, and keep in mind that is with a power setup on. However, if I were to go ahead and put on my damage setup, as you can see, now I am doing around 1000 times more damage. Yeah, that is pretty insane, especially if, you know, you're struggling to do damage and whatnot. that 1000 times multiplier is going to be a lifesaver. Yeah, I highly recommend get these vaults as soon as possible, so then that way you can go ahead, get the secrets of every single variant, whether it is power, damage, stars, it doesn't matter, since with vaults you are able to use each and every one of them in order to progress really easily. And yeah, with that being said, I think this moves on perfectly to the fourth tip of the video. Now for this tip, I can't tell you how important this is. It's going to save so much time when it comes to grinding. And no, I'm not saying that you are going to be needing the secret variant of all the pets passives. Even something as simple as, for example, stars 4 is insane. Don't believe me? Let me just show you. If we head on over here to the very final world and I start taking out both the secret boss and the main boss, just have a look. Even after I'm taking them out, my stars is barely going up. However, if I were to go ahead and, for example, equip my stars team, which by the way, most of them either have, I think I only have like 2 super friends. Yeah, I only have 2, and then the rest of them are stars 4. This ends up adding up to, when I defeat them, just have a look at my stars, it goes up quite a lot. And keep in mind, by the way, this doesn't only apply to the stars. For example, if you were to get a lucky team, like for example, Lucky Pet, Fortune Guardian, and Diamond Serendipity, I think that's what you call it, that's gonna make your luck go skyrocketing to the point where maybe, let's say you're free to play, struggling to get mythicals and secrets, they are going to be the easiest things to get in the world. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, this Diamond Serendipity, this one over here, if I'm not mistaken, each one gives you like 7% luck. So that means if you were to, let's say, get, as you can see right now, I have 31 equips. 31 times 7%, that is like, I don't know, like 210%, something like that. Which in other words means you are going to be getting over 3 times luck. But wait, hold on, I'm sure you guys are probably saying, wait, it costs 10 passive rings per roll, which kind of adds up quite a lot, especially if you're trying to get the secret variants. However, there's no need to worry because the easiest way to grind out passive rings in this game can actually be unlocked in the world just after it. Yes, that's right, I'm of course talking about the Protect Totem. Now, what I love about this game mode is that if you were to, let's say, hop on in and you have quite a large range, you can literally just AFK in the middle and maybe watch a video or grab a bite to eat. It doesn't really matter, since in the end your character is just going to be sitting in the middle getting all of those free rewards, which in other words means you are going to be getting a bunch of passive rings. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the fourth tip. Let's move on to the final tip of the video, the fifth tip. Alright, so once again, another tip which is relatively simple. In fact, I don't think there's really much to it. Just that when it comes to picking what Grimoire page you need to use, highly recommend you get yourself the equip page. And the reason that I'm saying you need to get it is because although it gives less energy than if you were to get, for example, the power pages. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, with a full power page setup, I would get like 2 octillion per click, or at least something like that. What's important about them is that they will become very beneficial when it comes to doing tip number 4. Let me explain what I mean by that. So, when I said before how you can get pet passives on your pets, for example, stars 4 or whatnot? Well, the extra equip pages will allow you to equip extra pets with extra passives, which in other words means you can get extra stars multipliers, extra luck multipliers. Pretty much it allows you to push your limits a little bit more, so then that way you're getting the absolute maximum amount of loot. But anyways, apart from that, another thing that I do want to mention is that when it comes to grinding out Grimoire pages, the only way that you can get them is going to be from the boss, the Clover boss. In fact, as you can see, it's literally right over here on the sign. It's a 5% drop, which in other words means you are going to be needing to save up quite a lot of magic crystals. So then, you can get the Clover keys. And then as well, once you have a bunch of them, you need to go ahead and keep on spawning the boss over and over. So then that way you can get yourself equip pages. Now, I do want to mention that try not to do this until there is a 2 times drops event, since if you didn't know when one is active, whatever you get from the merchant, for example, the keys, that as well is going to be doubled. So that means when you get a key, you're actually going to be getting 2 keys. But not only that, if you, for example, spawn the boss and then, you kill it and then you get a equip page, you are going to be getting 2 equip pages rather than 1. Hence why, for those reasons, make sure you do this in a 2x drops event, so then that way not only will you save time, you'll also save magic crystals. But anyways, just like that, you now know my 5 tips and tricks in order to go noob to pro in Anime Strike Simulator. Now of course, if you guys did end up finding this video helpful, you know, maybe I taught you something you didn't know before, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button with notifications on, and also feel free to comment down below any questions or maybe some things that I may have not talked on, so then that way maybe one day in the future I'll make a part 2 to this video. And yeah, apart from that, I think I've said everything that I have to say, so once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.